No, you can't open it yet. You can't open it just yet. You've got to guess what's in there first. Hey folks, Kilt-Man here, Kilt-Man at your overacting services. How are you all? Hope you're doing very, very well. Yes, he's got his skiing do. He's got wavy, crazy hair. Most importantly, he's got a great big cardboard box to open. And its contents within to unleash upon an unsuspecting world. Yes, regular viewers will know exactly what's going on here. Super channel contributor and great friend Steve 007 Smith, you know him, you love him, has been up to his old tricks yet again. This guy is a complete one-man artistic factory. He gets some cinematic artwork. He'll add a bit there, he'll subtract a bit there, he'll boost the colour here, he'll add some more little random bits of imagery, and he'll create an entirely new version of the cinematic poster that this film had once had. And then he sends it off and it gets all produced and put onto a great big box frame and then sent to me. And I have to guess what the film is. Not using psychic powers, he does send me some clues, and the clues this time round have kind of left me a bit flummoxed. I'll be honest. Now, I think the ratio is, I think I'm winning on this. I've got about maybe 60, maybe 70% of these that have been sent. I've got them right. But having said that, the clues this time round were, well, we know it's a horror film with a well-known cast. It's been oft imitated, and in its day, it had a reputation as being quite gory. But when you watch it, it's nowhere near as gory as you think. So, okay, it was a little short list down there. I mean, the thing is, the well-known cast, were they well known before they made this movie? Were they well known only after they made the movie? Are they well known only because of this movie? And I'm thinking the likes of Night of the Living Dead or Texas Chainsaw Massacre, oft imitated, not as gory as people or their legendary status lead you to believe. When you watch them for the first time, that you think, oh, hang on a minute, that's quite tame, isn't it? Yeah, that's the point. And you know, very influential. And the cast, they're only legendary cast actors now because of those films, like Judith O'Dea and Dwayne Jones from Night of the Living Dead, obviously Gunnar Hansen, Marilyn Burns from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be those. Somehow I don't think it's them. So I wrote a list down, as you can see here. Night of the Living Dead, I'm going to cross that one off. Texas Chainsaw, I'm going to cross that one off. The first thought I had, and he knows, Steve, because I said straight away when you text me, I said straight away, this sounds ominous, as in ominous. The Omen, Richard Donner. Well-known cast, Gregory Peck, Lee Remick, Patrick Troughton. It's got some celebrated death scenes in it, but they're not that gory. Yeah, there's a head coming off, there's an impalement by church spire, there's a dog attack, there's lots of stuff in it, but it's not as nasty as you think. I do lean towards that one though, I do lean towards it. Another clue, by the way, was, which is what's another thing that's thrown me pretty badly. I normally do the unboxings here where you see me now because I've got access to thousands of, well, my soundtracks are all on the system here. But throughout the day, I couldn't get to this particular place in the mansion. I was relegated to somewhere else doing other videos and using other sound systems, and it wasn't as easy. Like if I open that box and all of a sudden, oh, it's that, have I got the music? Well, chances are I've got it on this, but I wouldn't have the CD to hand to play elsewhere. So, anyway, and he said it would be very interesting to see what you come up with for that, the music-wise. So I thought, Ah, is that some kind of clue? Does that mean maybe it hasn't got any music? Is it a silent film? Is it like Phantom of the Opera? Well-known cast, Lon Chaney Sr. Although there is a score, there is a musical score set to it, so you know, or still could be that though, because I've got the score to it. Nosferatu, well-known cast. Well, Max Schreck. That's pretty much it, really. And there is a score because James Bernard Mohammed did a score for it in later years, which I've got. But again, I'm not sure. Then I started thinking maybe it's got no score at all. Maybe there is no music to it. And The Birds, Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds has no score. Well-known cast: Rod Taylor, Tippi Hedren, and oft imitated, highly influential. It is gory. It's legendary for having some. Like the guy with his eyes plucked out, so it has got gore in it, but it's not as nasty as you think it's going to be. No, I'm not going with that either. And then I thought of like Alien, because Alien, Tom Skerritt, Yaphet Kotto, Harry Dean Stanton, John Hurt, Ian Holm, they're a well-known cast at the time. Sigourney Weaver only afterwards. It's not as gory as you think when you first watch it. I mean, I saw it first come out, but I mean, and it wasn't, you know, justifiably legendary. But it's not as nasty as everyone thinks it's going to be. But you've sent me already. I've got down the hall a wondrous piece of alien artwork from you. But you could be doing something else. I don't know. Another bit of alien stuff. I don't know. But I don't think it's that. Along those lines, Event Horizon, Paul Anderson's film, Sam Neill, Lawrence Fishburne, Jason Isaacs, the girl from Twilight Zone, the movie, whose name I've forgotten. A very alien-like movie. Was renowned for having its unrated version was going to be exceptionally gory, where the Event Horizon spacecraft itself has gone to hell, and we see in the flashbacks all what happened to the crew. You only see it in almost subliminal cuts now because it's been removed, and everyone wants that full uncut version. So when you watch it now, it's not as gory as you think. Well-known cast, oft imitated. Well, it imitates Alien, but you know, I don't know. I'm not going with that either. Cape Fear, which I'm playing the music from now. I'm playing Elmer Bernstein's reinterpretation of Bernard Herrmann's score for the original Robert Mitchum version of Cape Fear. This, of course, is the Robert De Niro, Nick Nolte, Jessica Lange version, which is awesome. It's OTT, Grand Guignol, but it's really, really good. And the score is awesome. Again, could it be this? A well-known cast, oft imitated, yeah. Not as gory as you think. It's got a garroting by piano wire, you know. I don't know. The cheek getting bitten off. Don't know. I'm not going with that either. Halloween, massively imitated. A well-known cast. Well, Donald Pleasence was well known going into it, but certainly afterwards Jamie Lee Curtis was well known. Not as gory as you think. It isn't. Certainly isn't. There's hardly any gore in it whatsoever. Yeah, it is violent. Definitely got the score, but I've covered Halloween a hell of a lot. Doesn't write it off though. The Shining, again, it's not as gory as you think. Highly imitated, exceptionally well-known cast. Shelley Duvall, Jack Nicholson, come on. Scatman Crothers. Is it? Urgh. Back on the Alfred Hitchcock track, Psycho. Now, Steve, you are a massive Psycho. You are a huge fan of Psycho, all the Psycho movies, as am I. So, well-known cast. Martin Balsam. I always forget these. Jamie Lee Curtis's mother, Janet Leigh. Vera Miles. Yeah, well-known cast. Oft imitated. It's not as nasty as you think. It's got the legendary shower murder, but of course you never see the knife going in, and you only see the blood trickling down and the handprints and all that. Could be that. Poltergeist. Well-known cast: Craig T. Nelson, Jo Beth Williams, God, who else? Zelda Rubinstein. I mean, I don't know. Would that really be? Because there's a face ripping sequence in it. One of the parapsychologists sees himself and all his bits fall into the sink. It's all a ghostly illusion. But was it renowned as being gory? I don't think it was it really? And I know it was certificate X in the UK, and it was an 18 for a long time afterwards, which is bizarre because it really doesn't warrant that kind of certification. I think it's a 15 now. I don't think it's that either. Folks, no, I am kind of stumped on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with The Omen, which is what the very first thought, as Steve will testify, because I text him straight back. It won't be that now. Of course it won't. So I say I'm playing Cape Fear now. Right. Okay, we're going in. This one's the other way around. Now, folks, just so that people know, I can't see. Well, it's sealed that way, so I can't see what it is. So there's been no sneak peeks or nothing like that. Sneak peeks, twin peaks, twin peaks. No. Right. Jaws. Well-known cast, not as gory as you think. Wouldn't be Jaws, would it? Okay, folks, ready? I'm going in. This could be upside down, of course. Right, let's get this. What? Why did I think it was a horror film? Wow, it's Gladiator. I get one of my all-time favourite movies, and I have that Gladius. I have that costume there. He's wearing there. I've got the entire costume that he wore, including that sword. You've seen it. I've shown it on video. I've got all of that costume, including the boots and the belt that he wore. That is great. Look at him. I sported that haircut for so long, and the little Maximus beard. Look at this namby-pamby bastard as well. I always find it difficult to believe that those two grew up together, you know. Commodus is not a moral man. You should know that. What are you saying it just there? Lucius. The Colosseum. Oh, you should see the Colosseum, Spaniard. 50,000 Romans. Come on, I've got the music here somewhere. Oh, you're dead right about it not being as gory as you think. Yeah, really does tend to cut away a fair bit. And of course, folks, sorry, you've actually blown me away there, because I really didn't get on that one at all. And somewhere up here is the tattoo that Maximus cuts off his arm with a stone after he's been betrayed by the new Roman regime. Look at that, folks, look at that. I love the white background as well. Oh mate, you've done well. I love that. By the way, that off sea at the beginning and the end, that dreamy shot in walking through the wheat fields going home, that's not Russell Crowe. It's a stunt double, it's not Russell Crowe doing it. But it's such a dreamy, fantastic image. And there they are, his wife and son. I mean, why do they kill the wife and son so badly? The soldiers, the Praetorian Guard, charge him down. He thinks it's his dad coming back. And they butcher him with the horse's hooves. And then they crucify him and set him on fire. And Your wife moaned like a whore when they ravaged her, again and again and again. Whatever Russell Crowe has become outside of movies and what he's become in movies, a fat, obese bastard, this film is indelible. It's the best he's ever going to be. He can't surpass that role. But in that scene alone, where he's just defeated Tigress of Gaul, Sven Ole Thorsen, who is Arnold Schwarzenegger's busy mate, and but he's shown mercy as well because he won't kill him. So he's defied the Emperor again, and the Emperor comes down in front of all the crowd and all that, like, and he says, you know, your son squealed like a girl when they nailed him to the cross. Although how he did that when he's been clubbed to death by horses' hooves and trampled on. But it's just Commodus winding him up, and he says, you know, and then your wife she moaned like a whore when they ravaged it again and again and again. And Russell Crowe just looks down and then just looks up. The time for honouring yourself will soon be at an end, Highness. And it's just, if you look at his eyes, I can't do it. I'm not an actor, but that burning rage and utter contempt and hatred marvellously turned on its head, because at the end, when he does kill Commodus, although he knows he's going to die anyway, and he does kind of, there's a look of sympathy on his face. It's for like, why have you done all this to me? Why did you kill your own father? Why did you do this to me and my family? We were friends, you know, why? But so there's a reluctance to have done it, to kill him. But folks, look at this. Leader of the Germanic hordes that come down to fight the Roman legions at the start of the movie, and they fling, you know, the Roman's head at them. Like, that guy's about 7 feet tall. He's played by Chick Allen, who ran Clanranald martial arts school in Scotland. Oliver Reed. So yeah, well-known cast. Yep. Oliver Reed. My mate Adam Levy is in the full uncut version of this as well. The two once they realise that, you know, that obviously he got away, and Commodus has to make a point to prove to them that his soldiers that, you know, treachery and idiocy, ineptness will not be tolerated. He has a firing squad set up, and with bows and arrows, and they're all like that, and he walks in front of them, so they can't loose the arrow. And the two Praetorian guards who've been picked to be executed, one of them, who's got the dark curly hair, is a friend of mine, Adam Levy. Well, a friend of the family, I should say, more than a friend of mine. But yeah, and he said that Oliver Reed used to take them all out. Every single night when he filmed in Malta.
You knew Marcus Aurelius.
I did not say I knew him.
I knew him. I said he touched me on the shoulder once. You asked me what I wanted.
Hans Zimmer's score here.
I too want to stand in front of you.
It's beautiful, isn't it? But Adam said that Oliver Reed he didn't go out with the rest of the other hard drinkers, Russell Crowe, Richard Harris. He would take all the extras out and he'd go to his favourite bar, which is where he died. And he'd pay for all the food and he'd sit and tell them stories and anecdotes. And Adam said, like, he was just larger than life. He's not a physically big man, but his presence just filled a room, filled the Colosseum, you could say. But look at this, mate. You massively ducked and dived and evaded that. You didn't give anything wrong. It's me that assumed it was a horror film. You didn't say it was a horror film. Look at that. Rage. Confusion. He's also, fetch an old man a new blanket. Look at him. He's like Poncy bastard. Joaquin Phoenix, of course, has gone on to do extraordinary work. He did get a lot of flack for this. From a lot of critics would say that because he's not that major a villain in the way that he's not intimidating enough to go up against Maximus, which is why, of course, he has him mortally wounded before the fight. And Commodus, in reality, did jump down into the arena and fight. But they're called sportsmen or the gladiators. But of course, they tended to be guys that were wielding wooden swords, and they were otherwise ill-equipped to fight Commodus, who would just skewer them. They'd be mortally wounded on the deck anyway, and he'd go in and he'd finish them off to the roar of the crowds like he was some kind of champion. Or it would be rehearsed and coordinated, and he'd never get hurt. So when you see Commodus go up against Maximus at the end, which you think, well, that's never going to happen. In a way, it does fit in a little bit. It's not that far-fetched. He's going against the gladiator who is wounded, and you've seen him sword fighting as well at the start, so he knows a thing or two about blades, a bit of sword play. Oh wow, that is just amazing. Because there he is, fighting with Tigris. There he is with Juba, Jimon Hansu, or Jimon Hunsu. It depends how you want to pronounce it, I don't know. What we do in life echoes in eternity. I love his dog as well. That is fantastic. Colours are great on it. The artwork is amazing. I've never seen that depiction before, because this is where Steve comes into his own. He'll take the imagery and he'll put it on, and he'll adjust the colouring. It's like he's fine-tuning it. An Ultra HD 4K disc, you know, calibrating it on some mega screen. Look at that. Such wonderful flourishes. The robin on the branch as well. The hand is great. Steve, you're a bastard, because not only have you hoodwinked me on that, I haven't watched that film for years and years, and you know why as well, because if I do, the temptation to cut the hair off, sport the Maximus beard again. I spent years, I was a stripper ground for a while as well, and of course what did I do? Instead of being the fireman, which I was meant to be, I'd often turn up at these gigs dressed as Maximus, and they loved it. I was the gladiator, hang on, what was it now? Oh, I don't know, what was it, the Arena of Love, the gladiator in the Arena of Maximus Entertainment in the Arena of Love, whatever it was, fucking shite, wasn't it? But yeah, Gladiator. My name is Gladiator, and of course I've got loads of, well, I've got the costume, but I've got loads of props. I've got spears, swords, helmet. God, what else? I've got loads, arrowheads and stuff. At the time, you could get a lot of stuff. When the film first came out, the market got flooded with stuff, and I managed to get hold of that costume. Well, I say screen, you get certificates of Ridley Scott, Janty Yates, who did the costumes, Arthur Max, production designer. You get certificates with all that, all authenticated, certified, and they're all, the boots, the sackcloth with the yellow daub of a coward, the big belt, and best of all, the gladius, which, even though it's not a real sword, it's an aluminium blade, it looks fabulous, and it's got, because it's screen used as well. There's blood down the blade, and there's sand as well from the Moroccan set where they filmed that fight, the chain fight as it's known. So it's got all of the relics from the actual elements, the sand and the fake blood down the blade. Wonderful. If I'd known it was going to be this, I'd have got that down. Look at that. Even then, it was as though you didn't want me for your son. It is a young, petulant performance, but he's playing a young, petulant prince. You know, and that's so he nails it. Joaquin Phoenix nails it. And his incestuous love for, you know, Lucilla. I don't know. Wonderful stuff. Wonderful stuff. Yeah, and of course that film ushered in, well, the likes of Troy, Kingdom of Heaven by Ridley Scott as well, King Arthur, so many other historical epics all came back in. It was the second age. No, it would be like the third age of sword and sandal and epic historical pictures. Back from the 20s, then you had it in the 60s, 50s, 60s, then you had it again, 2000 and then the early 2000s. You got me, mate, you got me. There you go again. It's a way of getting me to talk about Gladiator, because I've said many times that there's certain films which I just find it hard to sit here and review. I've covered them so many times in the past for other sites and for magazines and for newspapers and stuff when I've reviewed them initially. But to sit here and like try to pour and condense all the words I spent ages painstakingly constructing in prose to channel it into this, it's actually very hard to do. Let us go, no, it's fucking great, I love it, it's the best film ever, you know. It's Lisa Gerrard. She would appear in a lot of Hans Zimmer scores, adding those ethereal, beautiful vocals. You well and truly got me, Steve. I never saw that one coming. What was I on? What was I on? The Omen, Night of the Living Dead, Texas Chainsaw, Alien, Event Horizon, Cape Fear, Halloween, The Shining, The Bird, Psycho, Poltergeist. I even have Reanimated down there, but I crossed it out. Excellent stuff, excellent. And as I say, I love the white background. You could easily have gone for like a yellow tinged background for the sands, the heat, the arena, the desert. But you went for the more frosted look, and it only gives it more dynamic impact. Beautiful, just beautiful. Mate, thanks so much. That's outstanding. You got on to me now and say like, that was the wrong one, that one was for me. Where's your one of the Omen? Folks, I'm sure you'll agree, that's wonderful, wonderful artwork. Many thanks, Steve, many thanks to you all. Folks, I have been and always shall be a kilted gladiator, and I'm going to see you all in the afterlife. Raiders. If you find yourself riding in green fields with the sun on your face, do not be troubled, for you're in Elysium and you're already dead.